Let's bust out the hammer, because it's time for some Welcome to Wraith Sealed. Hi friends, welcome back to Nearly Sane Games. I'm Neil, and this is the Armory Report. This week's Armory was Welcome to Wraith Sealed. Let's take a look at my pool and see what I decided to build. Alright, let's start by looking at kind of what my dory pool would be. I got some unmovables here, that's pretty nice. Some steel blade shunts are good. I have a good number of actions, only a few of them red. And then I have some good attack reactions, but a lot of these are blue. I've only got one razor reflex. This is going to kind of hurt me in the end. I'd really like to have at least two of those, even if it's a yellow one. It'd be much better, I think. And I don't have a real strong go again package from my other from my generics. I got Flock of the Featherwalkers red, which is great. Scour of the Battlescape will do pretty good. I've got one Nimbleism, but I don't have Nimble Strike. So I kind of looked at this and said, I probably could have gone Dory, and I think this would have been good, but this just wasn't as strong as some of my other picks. Alright, as we look at my ninja pool, doing okay here. We got leg tap into rising knee thrust, only a blue leg tap, which isn't great. Got some good head jabs here that we can go into open the center. Pull the Lord of Wind, doesn't really do anything without the Mugenshi release, but there it is, it's majestic. Whelming Gust Wave, no Surging Strike, so that line is not going to do us anything. We also have one Regurgitating Slog, which is real nice. What I really didn't like about going ninja was I do not have a lot of good zero cost blues. I got a couple here. Rising Knee Thrust can be a zero cost blue, zero cost blue. But all of my blues most of my blues are a bigger cost. So we're not going to give our Kodachis go again. We've only got one Razor Reflex. This is, I guess we got a Flick Black here that we can also use. We probably have a few other zero cost cards, but it's going to make things difficult to actually turn on our Kodachis every turn. We're going to be pitching a lot of yellows or reds just to get things going, and that's going to put us at a little bit of a disadvantage to what Ninja wants to do. So I didn't like going Ninja. As we look at our Brute pool, I really consider going this route for a minute here. We have a lot of generic 6 power or better. These are 6s, these are 7s, and along with our Brute cards. So there is a chance that, a really good chance that we can actually use Reinar's ability when we discard. The problem is we only have a small number of actual discard spells. We do have a decent amount of Intimidates. These are yellows and blues, not exactly the grays. And I don't like Awakening Bellow quite as much. So we weren't really going to trigger Reinar's ability quite as much as I was hoping to. So Reinar just did not seem as strong as Bavo was going to be. So let's take a look at the Bavo pool. Alright, so this is my Bavo pool, and this is what I decided to go with. We have a good number of generic big power attacks. These are 7s, these are 6s. We got a Slogism, including a Regurgitating Slog, so that's a good combination. We have some good Guardian attacks. Here's some 8s, here's a 7, here's some 6s. We also have a Spinal Crush. Cranial Crush is one of the ones that we picked up as well. We have the Helm for Guardian. We have 2 blue pummels. I would like to have a better pummel, but blue is fine. We have some unmovable. And we have a good number of blues available. I think we have 14 blues in total available to us. And this will allow us to be able to play these expensive cards here and still have enough for blocking. We have enough to play our unmovables. I think that this was the correct choice to pick for what the pool I had was. So let's move in to look at the matches.
All right, let's see how my matches did. Round one was against a Rhinar. And I start with a Dominate Debilitate for 8. He takes it. He double intimidates me and sends over a 5 attack. I say, okay, that's 5. I'll take that. I return with a Crush Confidence, dominated for 7. He blocks 4 with armor. Comes back with a double Intimidate Club for 11. I block 2 with my armor. I come back with a Cranial Crush with my Gauntlet for 10. To top it off, I add a blue pummel to that. He's down to 3, I'm at 6. I come in with a Dominated Cartilage Crush for 6 for the win. Round 2 was against Dory with a Tunic. Tunic! Okay, so I start with a Dominated Yellow Barraging Beatdown for 7. He blocks 2. He comes back in with several attacks. I decide to block the last Dawnblade coming in. I didn't want him to get a counter on it. He didn't have anything else in his hand. I knew it was a safe block. I come back with a Slogism, using the Gauntlet with Regurgitating Slog for 13 Dominate. We go back and forth a little bit. It gets down to, he's at 2, I'm at 1. He comes in with Dawnblade. And I know that at the end of a game, when Dorinthia comes in with Dawnblade, you have to block for 6. Always block for 6. There's a possibility that they can go over top, but you have to at least block for 6. You know that there is some amount of pump there. Even in sealed, block for 6, I think, is the correct move with Dory at the end of the game. So the cards in my hand, though, I have enough for a return, but if I don't, if I try to block for 6, I'm going to have a yellow card left in my hand. I can't even swing the hammer. It's just going to go to Arsenal. I'm going to have nothing. So I decided to block for 3. And, of course, he has the pump to bring it over. What I should have done in that case was block for 6, and I still had the helm that I could have used to pop and give myself a 5 intellect and potentially draw up to have something that I could defend with and still have a return with next turn. But he came over the top, and I paid for that and lost that round. My third round was against a Bavo. All right, mirror match time. This was a lot of back and forth. Lots of dominated attacks. A lot of defense reactions, honestly. I had 3 unmovables. He had several unmovables. I think he had a sink below red. So it gets down to I'm at 4 and he's at 2. And I'm just pulling all my blues now because we're getting low on the deck. I throw a hammer for 4. He blocks 4. He had a piece of armor still left over and a 3 block. I had a blue pummel that I could have played at this point. He was at 4, I was at 2. Because I could have come over the top for 2. Pummel on the hammer does not make you discard. So I decided to save it and arsenal it instead of getting that extra 2. Then he returns with a hammer attack, and I block for 3, and he has the yellow pummel. Really bad on my part. I knew he had 2 cards in hand that almost always signifies that he has a pummel in hand, and I should have overblocked that. I didn't know which pummel he had. If I was paying attention, he pitched that yellow pummel earlier on. I might have known that. But difficult to block anyway. If he did have a second high cost card, it would have pumped up the hammer as well. So maybe I didn't have a chance there, but I should have blocked that more. It's a real tough situation because you have to decide, do I want to survive this turn and try to overblock, or try to give a return fire? And at some point you have to say, he either has to have it and kills me, or I have something to return. Because if I'd overblocked, he could arsenal the pummel, and I don't have enough cards to return with anyway. So he just blocks out my attack and then comes back the next turn with the same thing. And it's a difficult situation. I probably had already lost that earlier in the game, but that's where I was. That's fine. So 1-2 is my current record. Then we go into round 4 with a Katsu. Hate ninjas. Ninjas. So I'm throwing a lot of dominated attacks, 7s and 8s. But I took some hits to pay for it. There were times that I probably could have been blocking more, but I said, I want to keep this yellow in my hand so I can activate Bavo, get the dominate, and swing. I didn't see my slogism. I got down to... I got him down to 1. He took a big hit knowing that he had a better return, and I was down to 4. I took 2 Kodachis. I had an unmovable in hand. I blocked with that for one of his big attacks, and he still had 2 more 4-power attacks, and in the end, his last 4-power attack, I only had a 2 block for, and I died to that. So I'm pretty sure for that match, I really got hyper-focused on using Bravo's dominate ability, and I tend to go one way or the other. I either get hyper-focused and I want to use dominate all the time, or I just forget about the ability and never use it. And I think that, especially in Sealed, it is important to really decide when to use that. And I think the when to use that is, I've got the 7, 8, 9 power attacks that I have the option to dominate to get in extra damage. Otherwise, I just want to throw 7s or 8s at my opponent so that they are using cards from their hand to block. The extra damage is probably not worth as much as filtering out their return, because it hits you twice. First off, you lose the block from the cards that you could be using to block with, and second off, you're not pulling that many cards. You're only pulling 1 card from their hand when you swing with a dominate, guaranteed. So that means that their next attack is going to be more powerful because they don't have the choice to block it out. And you're trading off for a little bit extra damage, but the cost is big on that. And I think that I need to be much more selective on what I am dominating and when I'm just throwing regular attacks and when I'm blocking. So that was largely on me. I mean, it's all on me, but so 1-3 was my record this week. And I just need to think through my lines better and really look for when I can put on pressure. I think that dominate is really great for the end game when they're at low life total. They have 4 points of life total left. If you can get a dominated 7-power attack in there, it's just about probably guaranteed that they're going to die from that. They've probably burned their defense reactions earlier. Maybe not. Maybe they can get a defense reaction. but the bigger defense reactions are going to cost them 2 cards, and the smaller defense reactions are going to still leak over the damage and potentially put them at 1, and then even a 6 or a 5 powered, a blue dominated attack can get there for you. So that's really what you want to look for, and probably more how you want to try to play Bavo and Sealed. We'll see how it goes next time, and maybe I can actually learn from my mistakes and do a little bit better. So until next time, I'm Neil, and this has been the Armory Report.